Hey guys, it's Matt Parsons with Syncretic Qigong and Reiki. Today we're going to be going over a Qigong exercise called 3 C's of Qi. If you haven't watched Pulling Down the Heavens that I uploaded yesterday, please go back and watch that. It will provide you with a good insight on how to close this practice. If you don't have that experience already, this is going to be a little bit more difficult for you to just flow through. So I recommend that you do Pulling Down the Heavens for a little while before coming into this. If you're one of my students already and you've trained with me, I tend to throw a lot at people in a lesson just because I want them to understand what it is we're doing. So with this exercise, what we are doing is connecting to our 3 dantians and learning how to expand and contain them. The various dantians, we have lower dantian, is basically between the belly button and the spine. We have the middle dantian, which is in the back of the heart, and we have the upper dantian, which is in the very center of our head. And so this is vitality, this is energy, and this is spirit, Jing Qi Shen. And basically the energy is a byproduct of the spirit and the vitality. These things are real, this is kind of an illusion. So a lot of our emotions in Chinese thought are like a psychosomatic byproduct. They're not necessarily, what is representative of our health or our spirit. So this should help you with emotional regulation, as well as your health and getting things cleared out. So you can do this exercise as a preliminary. You can do 3 C's of Qi, you can do Seeking Moon at Sea Bottom that I uploaded the other day, and you can do the next exercise that we'll be uploading called Lower Mind Breathing all together, and that'll really clear out your channels. It gets you connected to your dantians and familiar with your microcosmic orbit. So let's get right to it. If you haven't watched Pulling Down the Heavens, go back and watch that, as I mentioned. This is a pretty difficult exercise because it's kind of counterintuitive. So you're going to start in Buddha holds the pearl at your belly and come out into holding a heavy stone. And you want to imagine that you're kind of holding a giant emerald that's like a sphere, and it's this green color. It's got light inside of it, and it's heavy. Okay. So when you breathe in, you're going to expand your lower dantian and let the breath go into this crystal. And then when you breathe out, imagine that there's a color of light, the same color as the stone, coming into your lower dantian. So breathe in from your lower dantian into the stone. Breathe out from the stone into your lower dantian. Breathe in from your lower dantian into the stone. Breathe out from the stone into the lower dantian. Now, you want to imagine that you have water coming up to about hip height, so right at the tops of your inguinal creases. And the idea is that the water quality is up to you. You can be standing in a small pool, you can be standing in a gentle stream, you can be standing in a rushing river, you can be standing in an ocean, you can be standing in a whirlpool. There's all kinds of qualities that water can take on, whether it's moving or still, and you want to play with these various ways that water moves while you're in this exercise. All right, so a minimum of 3 breaths for each center. And when you go to the next center, you want to imagine that the rising water is what's keeping you from putting your hands lower, okay? So the idea is, in this one, the water is now going up to your floating rib level. And you want the middle dantian to be what you're working with here. So you're breathing into the middle dantian. You're breathing in from the middle dantian out to the hands, from the hands, and when you breathe out into the middle dantian. Now, once you've done a minimum of 3 breaths in this position, you want to feel as if the water is rising up to your collarbone. And you want your hands to be about your same level as your hairline, okay? If you don't have hair, just the top of your forehead. You want your shoulders to sink as much as possible. And you want some like sideways expansion out through your elbows. Now, once you've gotten to a minimum of 3 breaths at this center, you want to imagine that all of the water is starting to drain, okay? Like all of this is going down. And so once that happens, once the water is starting to drain, you want to go into gathering the heavens and then pulling down the heavens 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Holding a heavy stone, Buddha holds the pearl, back to your belly. And you can then go into Taiji knot mudra or dragon calling mudra if you want, but Buddha holds the pearl is just fine to close this practice out. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I am more than happy to answer them if I have the answer. I'm going to be out at Cha-Cha's Tea Lounge on their patio this evening for First Friday. We're going to be offering Reiki sessions. We're not practicing Qigong. There's just not the space for people to practice Qigong on that little patio. And this is going to be $20 for a 15-minute Reiki session. It's going to be $20 if you would like a psychic Reiki crystal empowerment, which is like a Reiki Chintamani or a Reiki Lingbao, for those of you that are familiar with that. And if you would like, I could also do a Usui Tibetan Reiki levels 1 and 2 attunement for you. Let's say you're a Reiki practitioner who's kind of fallen out of practice and you'd like to reconnect to the energy. Let's say you're a Reiki practitioner who would like to upgrade their Reiki throughput. Or if you're a Reiki practitioner in aspiration only. Okay, so let's say you can't really afford a full class right now. I will be more than happy to provide you with attunements and give you a book I recommend. I'll recommend a book for you, and you can go and buy that yourself. I'll give you a link to where to buy a signed copy if you really want that. I use Nicholas Pearson's Foundations of Reiki Ryoho as my class manual for levels 1 and 2. I recommend anybody go and get that. It's good. And if you really want to get deeper into energetic cultivation, please let me know. I'd be more than happy to talk with you. My website is Syncretic Qigong Reiki.art. And I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, whichever one you're watching me on. Feel free to reach out. I'm not really looking to do a whole bunch of messaging back and forth and typing forever and not knowing what your tone of voice is. Please give me a call, either on the phone or WhatsApp. If you're international, that's fine. Be happy to talk with you. Thank you again for watching our video, and I hope to see you guys tonight at Cha-Cha's Tea Lounge.